Yeah. So you can launch it and prove your idea fast. That's very significant. And in a time like this, especially, it's an opportunity. Look, times of uncertainty are huge times of opportunity. So if you can act fast, then, there's a lot of opportunity to be found out there. Reason number 3 is that there's low cost, high impact marketing. Marketing is the key to business. You want to be a good marketer. You want to put, adequate time and money into marketing. But the great thing is that marketing on the internet, there's so many low cost, just extremely cost effective or even free ways to market yourself online that it amazes me when I look at our marketing budget and see that it's next to nothing. Okay, and you consider what a lot of other businesses have to spend to do billboards or mail or TV commercials or whatever. But 80%, and that's even probably on the low end. I think it's higher than that. But 80+% of our business for Internet Business Mastery, we don't even pay a dime for it. They find us through all the different free content that we're putting out there through the podcast and videos and the blog and things like that. That's just attracting people magnetically to us. So, in a time like this with a recession, the key to surviving and thriving is to get bang for your buck. You want to concentrate your money on the things that are working really well and provide and on the things that, actually give you measurable results. Well, with everything that we do on the internet, we can track it. We can track a click. We can track when somebody hits a landing page. We can track where they came from. We can track with the conversion. But we have stats that we do every week, and we know if something's not working, we can dump it right away. Compare that to what so many other businesses do when it comes to advertising. It's just ridiculous. So internet business allows you to be very laser precise and cost effective when it comes to your marketing.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting talking to my grandma who actually ran an ad agency for over 20 years, and I was asking her things about how they used to test and track things, and she was like, "What do you mean test and track?" That alone was like, what? So I said, well, okay, so let's say you did advertising for X business, a furniture business. She had a big furniture account. And I said, how do they know what you're doing is bringing in money? And she said, well, the easy way is at the end of the year, if they made an extra $100,000, they would... that was because we did advertising. And I was like, wait a minute, you can't know for sure that was from the advertising. What if, a new housing project got put in right next to that? There's so many elements you just don't know. So if they're doing radio, television, print ads, there weren't ways for them to know for sure which one was completely working and bringing in, whereas we can know exactly through the testing and tracking and stuff that we do. And I just thought, how funny is that whole ad agency world, they're basically going on, God, I hope what we're doing is going to make us money. Now, some things they can, some print things, they could put a little code in there or whatever so that, you have to use that code when you call or something like that. But even that was considered advanced. She said they didn't do any of that kind of stuff. They just, if the business made more money, it was because of her. At least that's how she spun it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's got to make them think that or else they're not going to renew their account.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's just crazy it's like, oh yeah, we're going to not only, look at our business. We have next to nothing marketing budget, and we know how effective any money that we spend, we know how effective it is, versus a company that just goes out and throws $10, $20, $50, $100,000 at a mail campaign or a billboard campaign or a TV commercial campaign and has no idea. They're like, yeah, we think business went up. It's like, it's just crazy. So, as you can see, just here with we're all about business, just super, super slimming it down, super efficient, because you can do that on the internet. Minimal startup costs, launch it fast, prove it fast, low cost, high impact marketing. So the risk is next to minimal. It's just, it's like, well, duh, why not just go out there and start an internet business, because you can do it so quickly and easily. And it's like the worst thing that happened is a couple months of time. You're like, well, that's not quite working right. So let's try the next idea, and it's like, there's a million ideas out there on the internet. Number 4 is that in time like this, in the recession, your competition is going to be weaker. Most people are reacting like the rest of these businesses and people and getting afraid and doing just silly things out of reaction of fear. They're cutting their marketing budgets. They're like, oh my gosh, we got to shore up our budgets. No, we can't put the marketing out there. We got to cut back. And some of that might be necessary, but cutting back on your marketing at a time like this is death. How do you think earlier when we started this segment, we talked about McDonald's, Hewlett-Packard, Microsoft, Walt Disney? How do you think these corporations became so big in a time of recession? It's because they stepped up and they did more marketing and they put themselves out there and they said, okay, this is an opportunity to get massive mind share because we know that our competition is weaker. So, rather than playing it safe, they they got it. And the cool thing is that marketing was cheaper. I mean, in a recession, marketing and advertising gets cheaper because less people are spending on marketing and advertising. So now is the time to act, to pull ahead, to beat the competition. There's going to be less competition. More people are going to be going out of business because they don't have smart marketing and smart internet skills, like what you can learn through Internet Business Mastery on their side. It's all about being cutting edge with your marketing knowledge, which we already said is completely cost effective and costs you next to nothing anyway, and you can pull ahead of that competition and get massive mind share. So again, another reason why it's perfect to start now on your internet business. Well, number 5, this is a nice one. I mean, we've all, I don't know, anybody who's been in that position of wanting to start their own business. I mean, okay, when you wanted to start that when you were thinking about the Jamba Juice thing, I mean, I don't know, did you start thinking about, well, maybe I could get the money from here or there, or I guess the point I'm trying to make is at some point, a lot of times you're like, do I dare ask my family to help invest in this? And that's always, I had that.
Yeah, and I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I was thinking, okay, well, I know my grandma's got some money, so I went to her, the one that did the advertising agency, and we looked at it together. So yeah, I literally thought, okay, Grandma, let me tell you of this wonderful opportunity. And she's like, oh no, is this MLM again? No. Like the 3 other times I came to her going, hey, I've got this great opportunity for you. And she's like, oh. But
just taste this peach passion smoothie. Tell me that's not bliss. Tell me you don't want to invest in that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a tricky thing. Now, I mean, I'm a huge proponent of being creative and asking yourself, how can I afford this? Especially when it comes to something important and life-changing, when taking control of your finances, taking control of your life, doing what you're passionate about, starting a business that will provide for that. But yeah, it's always a tricky thing when it comes to asking, family and friends to invest in something. And, that's why MLM gets a bad rap, because you'll, just like you said, you go through 5 different ones and you're like, oh, hey, everybody, I've got the latest health pills for you to buy or whatever, right? And, after a while, your friends and family are just like, oh, really? Are you serious? And, so it's a tricky thing to be in that position. Well, the nice thing is, because internet business is so slim and trim and you can get started so easily and minimal cost, you don't have to ask your family and friends to invest. In fact, you can just steer clear of that altogether. So there's a big one right there. All right, number 6. Well, there may be some people listening to this who are in this position, and I know that we've had people talk to us about this very thing, Internet Business Mastery listeners, and that is that you might be in the position where you have lost your job or taken a pay hit, and you need to do something about it now. You've lost that income, or you've lost some of that income, and now the bills aren't matching up, and or medical expenses have come up or something. You're like, how am I going to maybe I just need a couple $100 more to make that house payment next month, kind of thing. So, if you're in that kind of position, well, again, internet business is a great way, because for very little money and relatively quickly, you can prove an idea out. You don't have to wait that year to get the income to go, oh, okay, now. Because, if you've got, problems with the house payment or the medical bills next month, you need that money ASAP. So, here's another interesting statistic I came across, and that is, I think now it's definitely easier to start a business than it is to go out and find a job if you have lost your job. Job hunting is a pain in the rear anyway, but, if you consider how many people have lost their jobs now, 1 out of 12 Americans right now are out of work. Where I'm living right here in Oregon, it's even worse. It's up to 12% unemployment, and I just see that in the papers all the time. I'm like, man, I am so glad I've got my own internet business. I don't even have to worry about that.